の13日火曜日ですね、昨晩ですね UFO-man というおじさんが有名なケリー・キャスディさんプロジェクトカメロットっていう有名なアメリカの、サイトの主催者の女性ですが、彼女にインタビューをしている番組があったんですね。これを見つけまして1時間半ぐらいやってたんでしょうか。この一部をですね、例のごとく英語を日本語訳字幕をつけてちょっと作ってみましたので、皆さんとシェアしたいと思います。まあ1時間半の番組、ほんの触りなんですが、皆さんにご紹介したいと思います。こちらになります。どうぞ驚かないで見てください。
So at any rate, I started 16 years ago. I picked up a consumer grade camcorder and started interviewing actually people on the UFO circuit that were speaking at conferences. And one of those people ended up to be my partner in the endeavor of Project Camelot, Bill Ryan. And I interviewed him. He was one of my early interviews, and he was representing the Serpo.org project. And we hit it off. We went to dinner together. I published the interview with him. It did really well. I also interviewed Bill Hamilton, if you remember him.
Yes.
I believe he's passed away. And I interviewed Robert Sala, Stephen Bassett, and so on. And that's a lot of those interviews were short clips that were put into a small documentary that I published short, after a while. It's still on my channel, which is no longer on YouTube because we've been shut down. We've been deleted and about a week and a half from YouTube, and then about following suit, Vimeo deleted all our videos. So we had over 1,000 on YouTube and about 100 on Vimeo. So those are all taken down. So we put them all on our own server. We now have put the library up there. You can watch a lot of them. They are available. We're still uploading videos. It's a long process, slow going.
Right.
But so back in those days, we really hit the ground running, touring the world, interviewing whistleblowers from above top secret. That was our specialty. And we were very successful getting to the really great whistleblowers back in those days. I think there's a lot fewer whistleblowers now with Julian Assange and Edward Snowden being shut down those years ago and made examples of. So a lot of really true whistleblowers have kind of gone black, as we say. But yeah, so that's what we did. We started I was a YouTube director and a YouTube creator in the early days. So I was one of their first directors. I was able to upload 2-hour interviews when everyone else had to do 10-minute interviews. I don't know where that's coming from. The back feedback thing is not sure where that's coming from. Okay.
Right. Okay. There's a question in the chat. They're asking why were your channels deleted? Can you expand on that?
Censorship.
Why did they say?
Yeah. Well, initially I had 2 strikes already. Okay. So I have been going in between having, basically having 2 strikes, then they would disappear because after a period of time the strikes disappear. So it takes around 3 to 6 months, then they disappear, then I would get 2 more strikes. And it's been going like that for actually about 2 years. And then the last thing I did was everything they don't like is medical. So in the past, I never interviewed any doctors. But ever since the COVID thing, I interviewed doctors, and they don't care what the doctor has to say. And that includes Judy Mikovits. A lot of people will know who she is, and a lot of other doctors. And so anytime anyone said anything about medical stuff, they would give me a strike. And So I stopped putting most of those up on YouTube and I put them on BitChute. But then I interviewed Robert David Steele, who's a so-called ex-CIA officer. And that was like, a week and a half ago. And he, in the middle of an interview that had nothing whatsoever to do about medical, it was all about his tour of the United States. He said one sentence that was medical. So they took down my entire channel and they said it was because he put out medical misinformation. So then, of course, Vimeo followed suit like 4 days later, and I didn't put any of those videos on Vimeo, I don't think, but they never gave me a reason. They just took it down. That was it. Said, you're done. They even gave me my money for the year back, which you have to pay yearly, $100 if you're a pro or semi-pro or whatever it takes.
This is like a major, removal of free speech. I mean, it's becoming so censored. People aren't seeing and understanding what's going on. But like their dialogue, unless it fits their narrow, part of it,
their narrative, their rhetoric,
it's censored. And this is just bad.
Whatever happened to, we could actually listen to the story and make up our own mind of whether or not we believe it's true or not. And now we have corporate America and the government telling us what we should believe.
What to think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right. And it's mainly the big tech companies that think they have control over
It's
it.
actually, in my case, because I am a professional journalist, I even have the credentials and I also have the training. So in my case, it's also, freedom of the press that they're violating. And I have written to them as such, and I've tried to get a lawyer. I've tried to, sue them. I had one lawyer that was interested. I'm assuming he just, that was about, 5 days ago and he disappeared. So I assume he's not going to take it on. Everyone's too scared to go up against these giants. I have to say that it's important to know that Vimeo wouldn't have followed suit unless it was a targeted attack to take me down.
Right.
So understand, if it was just YouTube, then it would be the YouTube Nazis and their censorship. But Vimeo doing it, because I've had 10 years of conference footage on Vimeo without any problems. And so they just all of a sudden, somehow these things are connected behind the scene, and they just team up and decide who they're going to take down. So
Cancel. Who they're going to cancel.
Yeah,
and I'm already banned on Instagram for no reason. I'm banned on LinkedIn for no reason. I'm banned on Twitter for no reason. Nobody gave me a reason. They just deleted me. And that's been in the past year.
Well, you're more than welcome to be here anytime you would like to be.
I do have one little question on this. You're seeing this happen to you. We've been seeing it happen to a bunch of different people. From your perspective, what are you seeing as the big picture of kind of what's going on, Carrie?
Oh, censorship is rampant. I mean, I'm very sad to say that, we're living in what is in essence, like Jim Marrs said before he died, of course, and wrote a book about it called The Fourth Reich. There's no doubt we're living in the Fourth Reich. In fact, in some people, he would even say, of course, it's worldwide at this point. And the Nazis never lost the war, of course. They just went into hiding and joined up in the United States space program, the Russian space program, and went underground and over in Argentina and whatnot. So, this is what is just now, in a certain sense, you could say we were always living in this kind of a atmosphere, but they never took the gloves off. They never had the guts to go in our faces and censor us, against the American Constitution, et cetera, until the last few years. But the gloves are off, and now they do anything and everything they want to do, and they announce it. And the most obvious place to see what they're doing, what they're thinking, and how diabolical they have become is the English press. Because the English England has always been the home of the Illuminati, the master magicians, call it what you will. I mean, France has a close second, and of course the Vatican and all of that is all aligned. The city-states, Washington, D.C. is satanic. The city of London is satanic, and the Vatican is satanic. So forms a triangle, satanic triangle. And that is where all of this comes from.
Right. Okay. Well, one thing I want to say, I kind of want to redirect our conversation a little bit toward Mark Richards and some of the information that you got from Mark Richards in regards to alignment of alien races with certain governments and who actually controls the planet.
Who controls the planet?
Okay, who thinks they own the planet?
Well, different groups actually think they own the planet or can influence the planet substantially. So the Anunnaki, who are a hybrid humanoid / reptilian race. In essence, they were invaded by the Draco. They were Pleiadians, okay, so they were humanoid. But they, like lots of cultures out there, planets regularly are invaded by the Draco and reptilian races because they are a marauding species and they go around invading planets and taking them over, especially if they contain humanoids that they can eat. So we are one of those planets. And so they believe they own the Earth. Okay, the reptilians believe it is their home. I think they might have been here even before humans, and that's going back way further than they normally go back. So we're talking, probably, I don't know if it's billions of years. I'm terrible with numbers, but it's a lot. and so, and no, we're not descended from, apes and all that nonsense. Actually, they're descended from us. And so you have to turn everything on its head, but basically. Who runs the planet? There are other groups. There are, for example, what are called the Archons, of which you have to decide what alien race that is. And in a certain sense, the Archons, I believe, are a race that is, first of all, well, supposedly one ET running the entire CIA, one ET running the underground, the whole base inside of Dulce. And Sean David Morton wrote about it in his book, Sands of Time. And that's a 3-book series, highly recommended. I think we lost one of our people here.
That's okay.
I'll be back. It's all right.
And so what those are is what they look like is a certain kind of physique, very skinny. And they are very elitist. Okay, so they probably think they run the planet, but in theory, they don't. And they are not the same as the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are more human looking, although very tall, like 9 feet tall, I think as much as 12 feet tall. And I've actually had my own dealings with, briefly with a couple of Anunnaki. I have dealt with various ET races. I can say that the reptilians, so the Draco, believe they run everything.
UFO-man のおじさん、それからあと2人ほどおりましたよね。トーマスさんとトミーさんという、おじさん3人に囲まれて、ケリーさん1人で、女性1人頑張ってましたね。まあそんなわけで、ケリーさんが全ての情報発信ツールをですね止められてしまったっていうのが驚きなんですが、まあ本物情報を流す人が今こうやって封じ込めになってるということですよね。まあケリーさんもですね、早くトランプさんが帰ってくればいいのにというふうに最後に言ってました。では今日はこの辺で失礼します。